Iraqi forces sit at the entrance to the military airport after they retook it from Kurdish fighters near the disputed city of Kirkuk on October 16, 2017. Photo AFP. Kirkuk, Iraqi army and Shiite forces entered Kirkuk and take full control of the mixed city on Monday following soaring tensions over an independence referendum. Shia militia, known as Hashid al-Shabi, clashed with some armed residents who vowed to fight alongside Peshmerga voluntarily. Kurdish security forces told NRT-TV that Peshmerga forces from the Kurdistan Democratic Party (KDP) of Masoud Barzani and Patriotic Union of Kurdistan (PUK) have withdrew from Kirkuk. Crowds, mostly Arabs and Turkmen, on the streets of Kirkuk's southern outskirts welcomed Iraqi forces as they entered the city, where they were seen raising Iraqi flags in the place of Kurdish ones. Iraqi forces seized Kirkuk governor's office. Iraqi forces seized the Kirkuk governor's office, key military sites and an oil field on Monday as they swept across the disputed province. The rapid advance, involving troops, tanks and armored vehicles, aims to recapture oil and military targets that Kurdish forces took over during the fight back against the Islamic State group IS. The US-led coalition against IS urged the two sides, both key allies, to avoid escalatory actions and to focus on fighting the jihadists, on the verge of losing their last strongholds in Iraq. Iraqi and Kurdish Peshmerga forces exchanged artillery fire early Monday south of the provincial capital, after the launch of the operation overnight, which triggered a spike in oil prices on world markets. Pumping stopped at Kirkuk's two main oil fields as Kurdish technicians halted operations and left the wells, an oil ministry official said. A Kurdish health official said at least 10 Peshmerga fighters were killed and 27 wounded during fighting overnight, but there was no confirmation of the toll from the Kurdish government. Thousands flee Iraq's Kirkuk. Thousands of residents fled Kurdish districts of Kirkuk for fear of clashes Monday after Iraqi military forces launched operations against Kurdish fighters near the northern city, an AFP journalist said. The exodus in buses and cars towards Erbil and Sulaimani, the two main cities of autonomous Iraqi Kurdistan, created traffic jams on roads leading out of Kirkuk. A local official in charge of the displaced said tens of thousands, mostly Kurds, were heading out of the city, although at the same time crowds on the streets of Kirkuk's southern outskirts welcomed Iraqi forces. "We're leaving because we're scared there will be clashes in the ethnically mixed city of 850,000 people," said 51-year-old Shonam Kader. "We also had to flee Kirkuk back in 1991, like today," she said, referring to a Kurdish uprising that was put down by forces of late dictator Saddam Hussein and when tens of thousands of Kurds were deported from the region. Himin Shwani, a 65-year-old Kurd taking flight with his family, pinned the blame on politicians in both Baghdad and Erbil, the capital of Iraqi Kurdistan. "We were living in peace, but politicians don't want good things for us, neither in Baghdad nor Erbil. They're fighting to control the oil, and the victims are us, the residents of Kirkuk," he said. Iraqi forces use an excavator to damage a poster of Masoud Barzani on the southern outskirts of Kirkuk on October 16, 2017. Photo AFP. Iraqi forces say they seized Kirkuk oil field and Kirkuk military airport. Iraqi forces said Monday they had seized an oil field in Kirkuk province during an operation against Kurdish fighters that follows soaring tensions over an independence referendum. Iraqi forces also retake Kirkuk military airport from Kurds. The army said. Iraq's Joint Operations Command said the forces took over the Baba Gargar oil field, one of 6 in the disputed Kirkuk region, as well as the headquarters of a public oil company. Iraqi forces say they seized main Kirkuk military base from Kurds. Iraqi forces said Monday they had seized the main military base in oil-rich Kirkuk province from Kurdish Peshmerga fighters following a mounting standoff over a controversial independence referendum. Iraq's Joint Operations Command, which groups all pro-government forces, said anti-terrorist units had taken over the K1 military base northwest of the disputed city of Kirkuk. The base was the first objective in an operation to retake military bases and oil fields in the disputed Kirkuk province, which Kurdish Peshmerga fighters took during the fight back against the Islamic State jihadist group. Iraqi forces were able to take control of the base following the withdrawal of Peshmerga fighters loyal to the Patriotic Union of Kurdistan (PUK), a political party loyal to Iraqi President Fuad Massoum. Established by the U.S. Army in 2003, the K1 military base was the headquarters of the Iraqi Army's 12th Division. The Peshmerga seized control of the base in mid-2014, taking advantage of the chaos during the lightning offensive that saw IS seize large parts of Iraq. The Kurdish fighters ordered Iraqi troops to withdraw, requiring that they remove their uniforms and confiscating their weapons. Iraqi forces said Monday they had taken control of roads and infrastructure from Kurdish fighters near the disputed city of Kirkuk as tensions soar following a controversial independence referendum. Iraq's Joint Operations Command, which groups all pro-government forces, said it was making progress in its operation to restore security in Kirkuk. Iraqi forces in Kirkuk, October 16, 2017. Photo PA Iraqi forces are aiming to retake military bases and oil fields which Kurdish peshmerga fighters took during the fight back against the Islamic State jihadist group IS. Central government forces took control of 2 bridges, 2 roads and an industrial zone to the southwest of Kirkuk as well as gas facilities, a power station, a refinery and a police station, the JOC said. Iraqi and Kurdish forces exchanged artillery fire early Monday south of the city, after government forces began a major operation in the oil-rich province. The offensive follows a standoff between Kurdish forces and the Iraqi army prompted by the September 25 non-binding referendum that produced a resounding yes for independence for the autonomous Kurdish region of northern Iraq. Baghdad has declared the referendum, held despite international opposition, illegal. Both sides are key U.S. allies in the battle against the jihadists, and the crisis has raised fears of fresh chaos just as Iraqi forces are on the verge of routing IS from the last territory it controls in the country. The oil-rich Kirkuk city in Iraq's north is claimed by both Iraq's central government and the country's Kurdish region. The Kurds are seeking to integrate Kirkuk province into the semi-autonomous Kurdistan region, claiming it to be historically a Kurdish city, but Iraq's central government opposes this. The population is a mix of Kurds, Arabs, Christians, and Turkmen. The Arabs and Turkmen do not want to see the province under permanent Kurdish control. Kurdish forces take full control of Kirkuk after the Islamic State insurgency in Iraq in 2014 and the withdrawal of Iraqi army from the province and some other northern region of the state, including second biggest city of Mosul. After capturing Kirkuk from the Islamic State, KRG President Masoud Barzani said the city would remain under Peshmerga protection indefinitely. That pronouncement effectively put one of Iraq's top oil-producing territories under Erbil's control. The Kurds control the city of Kirkuk and 3 major oil fields in the province that produce some 250,000 barrels per day, accounting for 40% of Iraqi Kurdistan's oil exports. The fields would provide crucial revenue to Baghdad, which has been left cash-strapped from the global fall in oil prices and 3 years of battle against IS. Iraq is also demanding the return of a military base and a nearby airport, according to the Kurds. Read more about Independent Kurdistan State copyright respective author or news agency, AFP Eker.net Comments Place your ad here loading.